Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula, drinking the coffee.
Drinking the coffee, getting that caffeine boost right into your veins. And today we are going to talk about Immaculate, the latest horror movie by Michael Mohan, whose work I'm not familiar with, so I have no commentary on. However, I did watch this movie, and I enjoyed it. And I also am familiar with the star of this movie, Sydney Sweeney, of Euphoria fame. And recently, she's started to make her push into feature films, first with Madam Web, which wasn't very good, and now with this movie, which is surprisingly good. She didn't just star in it, she produced it and was one of the reasons the movie got made.
Yeah.
Years ago, she had gone up to star in this movie way before Euphoria. The movie ended up falling apart, and then now with her newfound fame, she was able to get it off the ground and get it made.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking cool. That means that this is very much the kind of stuff that she wants to be making, and I hope she does.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is way better than Madam Web.
Oh, dude, this movie is way better than a lot of movies I've seen this year.
Yes.
You know, it's definitely right now in the top 5.
Absolutely. And I did not expect that going in, because for those of you who don't know, Immaculate is about a nun who has an immaculate conception, a baby that may or may not be Jesus gestating in her belly.
Yep.
My thing was, when I saw the marketing for this movie, is I'm like, okay, I already know what's gonna happen in this movie. She's gonna think it's Jesus and it turns out to be the devil. That's...
Yeah, right, because how many directions can you go with this? Turns out...
Yeah.
There's one we hadn't really considered.
Exactly. This movie goes a third direction than the it is Jesus or it is the devil. So there is a twist in this movie, and it was not one I would ever have thought of before I went and saw this movie. And it also is what makes the entire movie phenomenal to me.
Yeah.
There's so many religious-themed horror movies these days. You got to do something to actually stand out. In fact, this movie was coming out alongside The First Omen, which is about a woman with the devil in her belly. But then, it surprised me, completely.
Yeah.
This is very much a nunsploitation movie done for the modern day. A R-rated, grimy movie about nuns.
Yes.
With some shit to say about the church, too. And it's not all happy.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a religious trauma movie.
Yeah, it is 100% a religious trauma movie. And that's the part I wasn't expecting. Didn't expect the movie to be as critical of religion as it ultimately ended up being.
Oh, yeah, because it's super fucking critical.
And I certainly didn't expect it to make the statement it makes, basically, by the end of it.
Dude, it all comes down to that final shot.
Oh my God, what a punchline.
Whoa.
It really throws down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'm watching it and I'm like, are they going to do this?
And they did it.
Are they going to do this? Yeah, and then they did it. You know?
Oh man, so fucking good. This movie is great. And Sydney Sweeney is great in the role. She's used to playing these more broken characters, but what I liked about her in this is that when she first shows up at the church, she's actually pretty well put together.
Yeah, she seems like she's really well put together.
She's kind of figured out this whole God thing for herself, and now it's just about, doing what she needs to do to be good by God.
Yeah.
By the end of this movie, I don't think she's ever going to walk back into a church ever again.
No.
And her journey is fun to watch, even though it's hard to watch. And when you get to that ending shot, I'm like, oh, I get why she really wanted to make this movie. She wanted to make this statement.
Yeah, she wanted to do this. This is the whole reason the movie fucking exists.
It's also brutal. There's a lot of blood spilt in this. A person gets their tongue cut out at one point.
Yeah.
The movie knows when to do something off screen, but it also knows when to show something.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And oftentimes it does both.
Yeah, and there was this one shot, there was this one moment where this one character who you've gotten to know pretty well and you don't trust, just all of a sudden attacks somebody like, you fucking bitch, I'm gonna fucking...
Absolutely.
Whoa!
And interestingly enough, the movie that this evokes the most throughout its runtime isn't The Omen or any of those other religious-themed horror movies, isn't even other religious trauma movies. The movie that this evoked the most for me, mainly in the first 2 acts, was Suspiria.
Oh, yeah.
You have this similar kind of structure of this girl from another country going to Italy, being transported to this big building where she meets all these really catty bitches.
Yeah.
and then there's like a dark secret that's revealed by the end of it that she has to run away from.
Yeah. For 2/3 of this movie, it's really heavily wearing its fucking Dario Argento, like, on its sleeve.
It's not as colorful.
No.
But you can feel the Suspiria and Argento influence throughout it.
Yeah, and in the last fucking act, it goes from an Argento film to a Fulci flick.
Yeah. And that's the best way to describe it. I thought I was going in to see a movie that was going to be kind of like The Omen. And what I got was a movie that was way more Italian horror.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love this movie, and I highly recommend it. Was in theaters. I don't know if it is anymore. It is currently available to rent on various platforms, and I highly recommend you do. If you were on the fence with this movie, I recommend you take the full plunge and rent the movie, because it is way better than I ever would have anticipated.
Yeah, this is one that was Horror Mama who said we had to watch it. Mm-hmm. She's like, you have to see this one. Mm-hmm. It's nuts.
Yeah,
and I was like...
She was very vague about it, but she kept telling me, like, no, you trust me, you got to see this movie. Because she saw it back to back with Late Night with the Devil, which, what a double feature.
Oh, man.
What a double feature.
Man.
She knew she was going to love Late Night with the Devil. She did not know that this movie was going to be as good as it was.
This movie's super good. Yeah.
It is way better than it looks on the tin, trust me.
Oh, yeah.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let's move into the spoiler section so we can talk about why it is so much better than I anticipated. And here we go.
Now, they waste no time just basically telling you, no, nuns are evil, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nuns are evil.
First off, the first thing she's got to deal with is that nuns are catty, jealous bitches.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the cattiness in Suspiria between the dancers. Except instead of, like, the headmaster's favor, it's God's favor they're fighting over.
Yeah. And, like, half of them are, like, these really old women.
Yeah.
You know?
So when she ends up getting impregnated and the church declares it an immaculate conception and that it is indeed the second coming of Jesus, there's literally women that kill themselves because they weren't chosen.
They start attacking this girl. They try to kill her.
There's like a straight up, like, this one's for you, Damien moment where one jumps off the building. But she jumps off the building because she wasn't chosen.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The twist at the end of this movie is that she wasn't immaculately
this
impregnated.
Is not an immaculate conception.
It's not the devil. It is a clone of Jesus.
They have a relic.
Yeah.
That's one of the 9-inch nails that, like, you know, hammered Jesus to the cross, supposedly.
Yeah, and they've taken DNA from it, and they've been doing cloning experiments in the basement of this goddamn church.
Yeah.
The person who runs this church is a mad fucking scientist a la A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah.
And he's been doing this for years.
That was the other movie I was trying to think of.
A Cure for Wellness?
Cure for Wellness.
Because it's gothic horror in that vein.
Yeah.
And he has been doing this and experimenting on the nuns for years, and they've had many failed experiments at this, which is why they have such a turnaround rate with their nuns, because many nuns don't make it out or they try to escape and shit happens.
Well, yeah, because if, like, they keep doing the shit that they're doing, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Everyone wants the Immaculate Conception until they get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they especially don't like it when it turns out to not actually
be that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so she's basically got to escape from this goddamn place at that point. And she tries many tricks. You know, she tries to shove a dead chicken head up her cooch so it looks like the baby died.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really clever.
She's really clever.
She's really clever. She just, up until the end of the movie, she's just rotten luck.
And by the end of the movie, she just has to fight her way out of it. It becomes a brutal fight to the fucking death with many great moments. One of my favorite moments being when her water breaks. And she's just like, God damn it, which is the most perfect God damn it in a movie, given the context.
Yeah, she's trying to escape this place and then all of a sudden sploosh.
And there's a little bit of a House of a Thousand Corpses in this movie, too, because there's a point in which she has to go into the tunnels underneath.
Then there's a mad scientist lair where I was like, is Dr. Satan gonna show up?
And dead bodies just throughout the fucking catacombs of all the failed experiments.
Yeah.
And the dead fetuses, too.
Oh, man.
Which is a great damning statement, because it's very obvious that the big elephant in the room throughout the entirety of this movie is the church and its stance on abortion.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The fact that the church has been, in this movie, falsely impregnating women and has been abandoning these fetuses and destroying them when they're not perfect.
Yes, it was.
There's like some eugenics involved.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. It's there. And the final statement with her giving birth to the monstrosity that's inside her. And you don't see it, but you hear it. And
yeah,
you know,
you're like, that doesn't sound
That doesn't
right.
sound like a baby. That whatever that is, that don't sound like a baby. And her picking up the rock and just smashing it in the final shot.
That was the bit I couldn't believe that they did.
It went all the way.
Yeah, I was like, she's not gonna stone this baby, is she? Oh shit, credits.
Yeah.
I was like, no, perfect. Pitch perfect.
The other part that kind of reminded me of A Cure for Wellness is the fact that throughout most of the final act, because she locked the bad guy in the mad scientist lair and lit it on fire, he chases her throughout the entire final act with like a burnt fucking Red Skull face.
Oh, yeah.
Which reminded me a lot of the end of A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's not afraid to do, like, the exploitation movie shit.
Yes.
Clearly, that was the idea going in.
Yep, 100%. You really feel bad for her friend, though. She befriends this one nun in possibly the greatest way ever. She's, like, using the bathroom, and that nun just kind of walks in to use the window to smoke
a cigarette.
Where no one can see it.
She's like, hey.
And she's like really bitchy, but she's the bitchy one on your side.
Yes.
And at the very end of the movie, she calls out everyone and she gets her tongue cut out, and it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not the end of the movie. It's kind of the midpoint of the movie.
Yeah. But it's like,
it's one of the
it introduces the third act.
Yeah, it kind of like is what springboards her into the I need to get the fuck out of here mode.
Yeah.
Because Jesus fucking Christ. Or Jesus fucking clone.
Jesus fucking clone, man. Jesus fucking clone.
In fact, that is going to be the hashtag at the end of this video. Hashtag Jesus fucking clone. Put that in the comment below if you made it this far into the video. That way we both know that you watched this video all the way through. And do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, dude, you gotta see this movie.
Hell yeah. This movie's great. You're going to be fucking like hooting and hollering by the end of it. There's a lot of trauma in the first act, and then the second act, oh my God, is it a crowd pleaser?
Oh yeah, if you're a horror fan, it's pure crowd pleasing. Unless you don't like the idea of stoning fucked up babies to
Jesus
death.
Clones?
Yeah, fucked up. If you don't want to see it, well, actually, they don't actually show it, but they do show her dropping the rock on it.
You get a very healthy squish during those credits.
Yeah. And I actually thought that was one of the few times where I was like, I thought it was a good idea that they didn't show it. To actually have it be like a little ambiguous. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have seen that shit in beautiful Technicolor high def, full focus. I'd have been so in. But artistically, I think this is probably the right choice.
Probably. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Look, you can find me here on YouTube. That's it, just YouTube.
YouTube it up. Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages, and remember, if you go $1 a month, it can go a long way. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, you already know the hashtag if you've been watching this video. So use that hashtag below, and that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that you watched this video all the way through. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.
Jesus fucking clone.
That's the hashtag.